Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you so much, Chris. And shall we say happy birthday, buddy?
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Turning 29.
Yes.
That's right, again.
Dark.
That 39.
That's what every birthday after 21 looks like. Just you in the dark waving to
Just saying, bowing alone in the dark. All right, welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, April 7th. As you can tell, we love our employers and employees here. I'm Tori here with Lindsay and Al. Let's get started. It's the latest debate in the pandemic. It's the vaccine passport debate. Already a number of colleges, including Brown, Northeastern, Cornell University, all of these are requiring students to be fully vaccinated in order to go back to their campuses this fall. And in New York, they've become the first state to formally launch a digital vaccine passport. It allows people to prove their vaccination status or recent negative COVID test so they can get into events and businesses. But on the other side, and there is a strong other side here, governors including Texas's Greg Abbott are rejecting the idea. He signed an executive order preventing the government from requiring Texans to show proof of vaccinations. Now, it's important to note the federal government and the White House, the Biden administration on a whole, said they will not support requiring Americans to carry vaccine credentials. They are against it completely. So, what do you think of this latest controversy? Are vaccine passports a good idea, or do you think they'll be used to discriminate? Lindsay?
I think keeping them in the United States, like to get into businesses, like, okay, every business can decide. If we already started this whole regimen of every state deciding, every city deciding, let's just keep it going. But if you're going to travel internationally at all, you need to follow by that country's rules and keep people safe. And so if you've been willy-nilly making up your own rules in the United States for the last year, you cannot go to Ethiopia, let's say, like you can't right now without the yellow fever shot. You can't go to the UK that's had multiple more problems than the US has had and just say, okay, I'm not getting vaccinated. You have to follow by other countries' rules. So I don't mind this for international travel, but I think in the States we should just let it be up to the states.
Let it be up to the states. Now, there's a sense of showing your papers that's very like anti-American to us, right? And there's a sense of like the
No,
Nazi.
it's not.
There is
Showing
a
your papers?
Yeah, there's a sense that
What do you do when you walk into a bar?
you show your ID. I understand.
What about if you walk into a college campus and you need to get in the library?
You show your ID.
Yeah, your papers.
I understand.
You need to do that all the time.
But take into the historical context I get of what I'm saying is the other side feels that's very sort of big brother of I need to know where you're going at all times. What do you say to that for people who say we're totally against it?
I would say this is my friend, his girlfriend lives in Hong Kong. He was talking to me about this a year ago. That's how far ahead they are. But this is how they, if you want to go to get a piece of pizza, you know, or you order Grubhub and they bring it to you. The person needs to have their forehead scanned before they come into your building. This has been going on all over the world. This isn't about you. What's that song? I guess you think this is about you? This isn't. This is about protecting you and protecting the person who you are having any kind of interaction with. Everything is being taken so personally, but I don't think that we realize that we do this for everything. You need an ID to get to a certain part of the airport. You need it to get a beer at a bar. So why is this so different?
Interesting take. Write us in if you guys think the same thing. It's interesting. We also have that for if you're going to certain places in Africa, like you said, you need a typhoid, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, yellow fever. You actually need a card to show that. So it's already in place in certain places.
And also to get into school.
And also to get into school. Thanks, Al, for that. One group that is raking in the benefits from the pandemic, billionaires. Don't we love them? Forbes is out with the annual list of the richest people in the world, and the top spot went to Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, who has a whopping $177 billion. Tesla CEO Elon Musk jumped into the second spot with $155 billion. A Kardashian is on the list for the very first time, Kim, but she's near the bottom. And this is what's crazy about the year's list. There are a whopping 2,755 billionaires in the world, and together they hold a combined wealth of more than $13 trillion.
I'm not surprised by this.
You're not surprised?
No, because I think as much as people were struggling during the pandemic, there's another story of people that actually learned how to save for the first time. People who were lucky enough to still be working that learned how to like accumulate money because there actually were no options to go spend it frivolously, like on drinking or like on hanging out or like on traveling and things that maybe are leisure activities. So if you think about billionaires and people maybe investing more, a lot of people of color have gotten into the stock market more than they were in historical past years. And so I think that there was a building of wealth over this time if you were lucky enough to be working, have your same salary, and decrease your spending a lot. So knowing billionaires are doing the same thing, as well as having people, new investors, invest even in like penny stocks for them, I think that changed everything. And so a lot of people would make a lot of money right now.
And I get that. I have Robinhood, an app that helps you invest, right? I'm not turning into a billionaire or anything. But I do want to say, but what do you think of people like getting money from the government? I feel like a lot of millionaires became billionaires because the government gave them sort of money because of the pandemic. I feel like they made out better than some regular civilians.
Well, that's the problem.
Right.
And with the CEOs, we talk about, I don't know where I saw it written, but somebody said nobody that's a billionaire did that from hard work by themselves. There are hundreds of thousands of people that work for Amazon, and their employees were worked to the bone. Literally like having breakdowns because they were so overworked. But we look at it as like, oh, Jeff Bezos did this. A lot of people help these billionaires get to where they're going to be, including the government. And also, you can make $1 billion, Lindsay, when you don't pay taxes. Yeah, I mean, how much money would you bring in if you've never paid taxes in your life? We let these corporations get away with everything. These CEOs get in trouble. They get some kind of golden parachute where they walk away with $300 million, and we say nothing. It never trickles down. We've been saying that since the Reagan era, trickle-down economics. Where is it? The middle class is gone.
Right.
It doesn't exist.
But if you poll 10 of your friends, I'm sure most of them bought almost everything over this pandemic on Amazon. So if you have that much frustration with Jeff Bezos and the way that he runs his company, why did everybody spend so much money ordering things to their house all pandemic?
No, we did. And what I'm saying is, Jeff, the Amazon employees should have seen some return on that. And that's why they're trying to unionize right now, because when you cannot unionize, you are just a man or a woman on an island.
You're powerless.
If you speak up, you're just gone.
Right.
And that's why people have different issues on unions, but that's why people want to unionize, because Jeff Bezos takes all the profits, pays none of the taxes, and employees see none of the profits.
We could do a whole show on Amazon and the workers and what's going on there, and I'd love to go deeper on that. I also think a low interest rate on the stock market really helped a lot of people, so interesting. Let us know if you're a billionaire. And let us have some money. All right, Shaquille O'Neal is known as a big man with a big heart. I saw this. I was so happy. That heart was recently on display at a jewelry store in Georgia. Check this out. Shaq was caught on camera paying for a stranger's engagement ring. He overheard the man was trying to make a payment on the ring like in a layaway, but he paid the balance in full. The man apparently initially refused his act of kindness, but Shaq wouldn't take no for an answer. Shaq said he just tries to make people smile every day. He says he does this every day.
Don't you think somebody would be like, no, I'm going to get this for my own what?
No!
There's nothing. You know,
There's nothing.
I wrote on Shaquille's show for a year, so I know him. I haven't talked to him in years, but I knew him a long time. And he's really like this. This is not an act. We would do like these outdoor shoots, and like you'd look over and he'd be like holding a 4-year-old up with his. He loves. He's a man of the people. He's a giant,
gentle
but he
giant.
loves being Shaq. He loves life, and that's really him. So I see that. I'm not surprised at all.
That makes me so happy. What's he doing in that store, huh?
Uh-oh, might be getting spicy for Shaq.
Oh, that's a good point.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was he just wandering in there? Coming up on DBL, America's obsession for true crime is very real, and a new podcast explores some of history's most chilling cases. That's in True Crime Chronicles. And Sharon Osbourne is back on the defensive after parting ways with The Talk. The new drama, next on DBL.
Closed captioning provided by
Welcome back to DBL. A big shout out to our coworkers tuning in from home during the pandemic, working so hard. Hey, Leo. I miss Leo, don't you? Great guy.
I do.
All right. Well, Sharon Osbourne is disputing Cheryl Underwood's claim that she never apologized to her, and she has receipts. Cheryl broke her silence on her podcast about their heated exchange on The Talk last month. Cheryl said that she was disappointed by the situation. She still loves the Osbournes, but she also claimed that Sharon hasn't reached out since the confrontation. But Sharon, who has since left the show, disagrees. She gave thedailymail.com screenshots of text messages allegedly sent to Cheryl. The first was sent 2 days after the blow-up. In that text, she said she was deeply saddened by what transpired on the show and was sorry for losing her temper, and that she considers Cheryl a genuine friend. Sharon also revealed 2 more texts to Cheryl dated March 15th and 18th, where she said she was thinking about her and sending her love. Receipts.
I just feel like, okay, I understand she's pleading her case. This is her name that she wants people to respect for her brand for life. But also, like, this is not an isolated incident. The reason why this escalated so far was because there were several incidents that were reported of you saying things that could be seen as racist or offensive to different people culturally. And so it's just like, if there are all these accounts, that's why you left the show. So still proving that you didn't do, that you redeemed yourself or atoned in that moment is fine. But also, like, your behavior needs to change over a long run. And Cheryl also, I haven't said this before, but I think over the years that you watched The Talk, she allowed this woman to speak to her in this way. And I think that should have probably been checked a long time ago, even off the air. Like, hey, this makes me uncomfortable when you speak this way or when you're condescending. Even if they had a real friendship, that's a real conversation that they probably should have had way earlier than when it got to the point that it got to.
What do you think? Does it make a difference, these texts to you?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about. Agree with what you're saying. But I believe Cheryl Underwood is saying that Sharon never reached out.
Yeah.
So do these text messages, in your mind, make it seem like she at least reached out? I mean, can these be fabricated? Did she send it to the wrong number? Or do you think Cheryl forgot that she reached out and missed the number? Like, I don't know her phone checking schedule. I don't know. But I understand the dynamic. I understand her leaving her on red in terms of, like, we've said all we need to say. I think you do need to have that in certain relationships. But if she did send these, if she didn't see them, or be good to say, hey, I just saw these.
Because it pokes holes, right? A little bit.
Yeah, it leaves doubt. We saw what we saw, but in terms of, like, the reaching out, it looks like she did. But her not answering is on her. I understand.
Well said, Al. Really, very well said.
But it's hard to tell text messages. Like, it just says Cheryl. What if she changed her sister's name to Cheryl and sent them? Like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what date these were sent or what. Like, it's not like we can say these are definitely, like, they've been fact checked by someone.
They definitely
right? They're all alleged.
Let us know if those receipts.
Oh, but you don't insult Lindsay and say what's that?
Well, she had a full.
Sorry, cast of Mamma Mia 2. Look at her dress. Look at it.
What? We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. A new podcast is exploring some of the most bone-chilling cases history has seen. Here's a sneak peek in today's True Crime Chronicles.
These are real stories of real people and crimes that are really hard to believe.
These people tend to be what I call stealth killers. They come at you when your back's turned, they come at you in the dark.
In the 80s, something was happening inside a California hospital that brought chills down everyone's spines.
We've had patients that we thought were stable, and all of a sudden they died.
Patients were mysteriously dying, one after one. It was later revealed a respiratory therapist working at Adventist Health Glendale was behind the killings. 32-year-old Efren Zaldivar injected patients with paralytic drugs like morphine. He selected patients who were unconscious or close to death.
The angel of death would be the kind of person who plays God. He selects a group of people or an individual to eliminate them, and this power gives them some kind of a psychological rush.
It took dozens of deaths to finally gather enough evidence and charge Efren. He confessed to 50 murders, but could he be responsible for more? Another 80s real crime mystery that captivated the nation was in September of 1985. A homeowner in Tennessee woke up to find a dead skydiver on his driveway. When police arrived, they found a skydiver wearing a bulletproof vest, infrared night goggles, with a bag.
Investigators found small parcels, each containing what appeared to be a kilo of unprocessed cocaine.
$15 million worth of cocaine, handguns, and thousands of dollars was in that bag. What was thought to be a freak accident actually uncovered something much bigger. The man was Andrew Thornton, a former Army paratrooper and police officer. Andrew was the head member of The Company, an international drug smuggling ring operating in Kentucky. Days after the incident, Andrew's twin-engine Cessna was found crashed into a ridge in North Carolina, along with 99 kilos of cocaine. That opened up an even bigger investigation and questions.
Earlier, Tori and I spoke with the host of this brand new podcast. Take a look.
We are joined by TV and podcast host Stephanie Bauer. So excited to see you. Thank you for coming on DBL.
One episode explores mysterious deaths of patients at a California hospital in the 80s. We later learned that it was a staff member that was actually murdering them. Now, how does this type of killer get away with what's believed to be 200 murders?
Isn't it crazy to think that he could get away with this for so long and at multiple hospitals? And the craziest part is yes, it's in hospitals where patients, trust the doctors and the nurses with their lives. And all of these patients were not in for anything major. For example, one was a hip replacement.
Oh my gosh.
And the person dies. And then there was an anonymous tip from a caller to detectives that led to a love triangle in the hospital, and then they zeroed in on one suspect. Now, the suspect was doing it for so long, and like I said, over different hospitals, so the victim count is, could be the biggest mass murder in U.S. history because it could be up to 200 victims.
Oh, my word. Another episode I want to talk about, Stephanie, dishes on how this skydiving accident unraveled this international drug smuggling ring operation. So what shocked you most about this story?
This is one that happened, right in good old Kentucky, North Carolina area, and you just wouldn't think of it because it's an international drug smuggling case, and we're dealing with alleged police corruption, assassinations, cocaine. This guy is skydiving, and he lands in someone's suburban driveway, and he's got a backpack with night vision goggles, guns, and drugs. And so it unravels this huge true crime case that we go into from beginning to end.
What a crazy, if you woke up to your driveway and you're like, sir, that's crazy.
Now, you've covered huge cases like the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. She went missing in a small Kentucky town. So why were people so drawn to the coverage of this story?
it's sad because when women disappear, and I do a lot of disappearance cases, is there's no answers for the family. And some things seem so clear cut about, for example, who the family thinks did it. And it's just, you wonder, why can't justice be served? For me as a true crime fan, you like and enjoy watching the cases that have been solved, but you almost get this greater thrill from ones that haven't been solved because you almost feel like you can help.
We also got to interview Stephen Avery's family as part of making a murder documentary. What was that like? And I really wanted to know if you think Stephen's innocent or guilty.
Oh gosh, I just got goosebumps when you said that, just reminding me, bringing me back to that time, because that's the case that made me switch into true crime, because I was covering entertainment news at that point. Wow. When I went out there, I became so invested. I just knocked on the Avery's door. I got right off the plane and they let me in. And then I was with the family for a week and interviewing them and really getting to see a lot that wasn't on the documentary. But that's the case that made me get into true crime. And I'm still very much invested in that case. I think we all are waiting for updates all the time.
Do you think he's guilty or not once you sort of finished?
Well, I can't really have an opinion too much. I mean, I have thoughts on certain things that were in the documentary and that were maybe left out, but I think that they'll get into that more when they're, Kathleen Zellner's still trying to get him out of prison. But I see both sides.
Yeah. Real Stories Tapes True Crime is out now. You can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much. We're big fans, and we can't wait to listen, Stephanie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back.
Promotion.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by Lifelock. So we're going to share some of the most popular financial tips that could actually cause more harm than good. So first off, avoid paying off your mortgage too quickly. You actually could end up in debt or need to apply for a home equity line of credit. Second, that old phrase, real estate will always go up. Don't assume you need to buy the most expensive home to get a greater return. That's not always true since the market is constantly changing. And third, don't chase the hottest fad just because a stock or company is doing well. It doesn't mean you should hop on. It's good to be financially aware, but do your research before chasing a fad. When it comes to your financial assets, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. And really quick, I just wanted to say, Mark from Facebook says, people need to learn from history. Needing papers reminds me of a certain country during the 30s and 40s. And people do get that sense of like the Nazism, Russian
So
sense
you say
of
that at the DMV? You need papers there?
It's a valid point. Let us know what you guys think.
I make a lot of them.
Oh,
I'm really
wow.
good.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.